Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning to those who recently joined the conference like a couple of minutes ago. I saw some people, coming from Zabitska, but that's a good start. My name is Volha Smirnova. I'm coming from Location Solutions, the telematics service provider and Gurtam partner in the Middle East. And I'm here to talk to you about fleet health, the application for hardware diagnostics. I'm going to try to focus as much as possible on fleet health to tell you more about the business cases that we came across. Should a minute or two remain, I'm going to talk about another app that we use for corporate car sharing that we call Check and Share, and leave it up to you to decide which one adds greater value to your business. So a little bit about Location Solutions and why I believe you should trust the solutions and tools that we create. As you can see, we have over 10 different locations, headquartered in Dubai, the hub of European and telematics innovation. We have a lot of technology going on, actively spreading out to other regions. We're growing dynamically and actively. We have our development team, which is based in Rotterdam, comprises of 7 people, focusing on extra developments and different features on the current platform, and some of the brands and names that trusted us over the years and are happy with the applications that we provide to the region. In 2016, Wialon was successfully added to the product portfolio, quickly became one of the favorites, as you already know. So we decided, why don't we migrate some of the existing features of the old platform to Wialon in form of applications? That was basically the approach that proved beneficial and successful for Location Solutions, and we thought, why don't we share that with the partners? So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the market of the Middle East, but the idea came instantaneously from the market demand and customers that we work with. But I'm sure that problems are more or less common across all the different regions. There are telcos which are spreading ubiquitously. They have royal databases of clients. There are telematics service providers, up to 500 companies in the regions of our operations. There are governments with crazy RFQs and RFPs. They're coming more and more comprehensive. There are OEMs with Dynafleet and real platforms, quite voracious, going to the market. I'm not sure if the customer knows the difference of any of these products. So we thought, how do we compete if most of the solutions, most of the soups, basically taste the same for the client, and he doesn't really tell the difference. He doesn't know what to focus on. So we thought, and my management wants to come up with a business case of what to do. We read a book. I'm going to share something. It's called The Leap: How to Survive in the World Where Everything Can Be Copied. So the concept of the book can be brought down to 2 main components. The first one is to cannibalize yourself. It means to kill the platform, to kill everything best that you have for the sake of something better, before the competition comes and consumes you voraciously. This is something that happened to Procter & Gamble, okay? They created synthetic detergent instead of natural soap. And they killed the previous product for the sake of a new one. Gurtam created flespi based on the best features of Wialon, based on the most competitive features, I would say, of the platform. Now Walney from Ready Mix Tracking is telling us, you no longer need to use Wialon. There's flespi, and the application can work seamlessly with flespi. Okay, so Gurtam cannibalized the previous solution for the sake of something better that the competition didn't yet come up with. So that was a great idea, but it's great and amazing for big companies like Gurtam, and we're telematics service providers, so we need to focus on something less than that. There's another concept which we decided to focus on when we created the fleet health as the application for diagnostics. There's AI and automation. We decided to automate a range of analytical processes to take decision-making away from human beings and let them focus on areas of great importance. So automation was the core component on fleet health. Human labor can be minimized and mitigated by means of fleet health because technology is not everything, and the product is only as good as support behind it. The structure of support can be as large as that. This is the structure of support of Location Solutions. You can add a couple of categories, but the core objective of the business is not to focus on more categories, but to diminish the cost of labor, the number of people occupied in doing the job, and basically provide the same quality of services with less people designated to do the job and keep the customers as happy as they were. We are definitely receiving complaints from customers. And as soon as the fleet grows up to 5,000 units, you can no longer cope with the level of pressure and stress from the client. None of you would be happy if the client called you and told you that a bulk of fresh produce was recently returned back to the store just because the fuel level sensor or the temperature sensor did not detect the stock level, and it did not detect the change of the temperature, wasting off a lot of fresh produce. And there are a lot of calls and business cases from customers that do not generate the value, which are basically business losses. So all of us are definitely interested in growing the products, and Fleet Health is there to do that. Fleet Health focuses on 4 different points of hardware failure. One of them would be hardware GPS, installer, connectivity, GSM component, or the sensor failure. Some of these are human factors, which can be brought down to minimum as long as you know that that was the installer's fault, and that was the faulty installation of the unit, of the device, and this can be changed by, hiring better installers. This could be the hardware GPS component, which brings you down to whether or not should I continue with this hardware brand or should I switch to more quality-oriented manufacturers. We used to use a lot of hardware. We decided to stick with a couple of brands right now based on the failure rates that we devised from Fleet Health, and we're quite happy about it. So basically, the application enables business intelligence that is taking away decision-making from human beings and is focusing on analytics. Can you imagine how much time your support would waste over detecting what was the cause of the problem before the customer comes over and tells you that something happens? So the purpose of Fleet Health at the application is to detect the issue before the customer does that, thus win the trust of the client. So here you see the dashboard of the application. It focuses on several different KPIs. You can see the number of devices connected per account, hosted on different platforms or on Wialon only, the percentage of those that might have an issue, number of issues detected over the last period, which can be compared to the previous period, which can indicate either an improvement or the lack in dynamics. There are acute issues, which are based on priority type. You can prioritize which issues you would like to focus on, and these have to be mitigated immediately. By default, fuel issues are most important, so they get greater level of priority, but based on your type of support, you can put any other priority on any other issues and just solve them immediately. There are also various graphs on the dashboard, for example, the number of issues over the time, the number of messages, what is the frequency. There is a certain dip here. Whoa, okay, there is a certain dip here, which is probably due to the weekend because less activity was being reported, therefore less data was being sent to the system to process. Various KPIs we could focus on. You can flag the unit to basically schedule the installation. For instance, this unit is reporting too many locations, which means that you probably need to check the GSM settings because the device is consuming a lot of data and you don't want to be overcharged by the manufacturer. There are some suggestions and recommendations available within the system as to what can help you handle the problem as to not make it happen again. The more units we connect from Wialon, from you partners, the more feedback we get, the more comprehensive the platform is going to become in a while. The cost of the application now is very, very close to free. It's not free, but it's very close to free, just because we want to get as much feedback as possible from the Gurtam community and use the power of community to improve the application. So within the next 3 months, we will be very, very generous and democratic regarding the price in case you help us improve the application and connect up to 300,000 units to it. So far, we've had a lot of positive feedback from the Russian community, and you can talk to a couple of partners that are already actively testing the app in their own structures. There are more than that. You definitely can flag the units. You can see how many units you have on the map. This is one of the accounts that we're using. You can flag the device that requires the reinstallation or some manual checkup. There's an installer's app. When the installer is doing the job management, the order management, he's flagging whether he completed the process, what's going on with the process, whether the unit was reinstalled, whether he needs another unit, what is basically wrong with the system. So he does the process management. He tells you which stage of fixation he is on. Also, he can just attach pictures from the site. There's a knowledge base as the future development, which is still not there, but it's going to come there, when the new support member is going to try to search across a database of cases. If that's a new person entering the team just recently, he doesn't know what happened to these devices, what was going on in this company. But he can search in the database of similar cases and try to handle the problem with reference to other scenarios and implementations that were there, that were used by other people. It definitely has a mobile interface. Like I said, the application integrates with multiple platforms. It's already working with Wialon. We're quite happy about its API token-based authentication. It was recently mentioned, I think it was mentioned in the weblog last year, so a lot of partners are using that. And we generate a token, and we integrate easily with your accounts. I'm going to be more than happy to support development. We're anxious and very passionate about it. Anya, do I have enough time for the other application? Good. So 2 minutes remained. I will be like I said, the mobile interface is there. We have the mobile application as well. There is another application I would like to talk about, which is used for private fleet. It's not car sharing. It's car sharing within a private fleet. It's check and share. Since you can, upload the damage pictures, you can talk a little bit about the damage details of the vehicle. This application is used by Road and Transport Authority in Dubai, quite a large organization, as you know, a serious customer. They're quite happy. So we thought, why don't we share that with you? So this is basically the interface of the application. Some of the stages, what you need to choose, basically, the driver. There are garages. There are different other assets. You can upload the damage picture. You can flag what was wrong with the car, what was going on with the vehicle. And there is a lot more. Both applications are integrated with Wialon. We can connect them to your fleets, and you can try and check whether this is adding any value to your business. Both are created by Location Solutions Development Team, which is called 360 Locate. You are welcome to partner with us, and we are definitely open to customizations and future development. We're being very, very responsive to that. And I will be more than happy to use the power of partnership community to go further, to leap further, to stretch to other markets, and together we're the great power. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Volga. Very interesting apps. Volga, unfortunately, we don't have time for questions.
Can I ask one?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the one who asks the most interesting questions gets the box of waffles from Rotterdam. Yes.
And that's going to be Samir, because we only have one question. Okay, Samir, go ahead.
And we have the voting for the best speech as well.
Yeah, vote for my presentation and hers. Volga, I am as a service provider. Am I targeted, or this is for end customer?
The first application is for you as the service provider. Okay?
Yes.
So you can distinguish per account. You can track all of your accounts in the same interface, but that's mostly for the service provider. Honestly, we did not have any further plans to give it to the end users, to your customers. This is mostly for you to do the proactive support.
Thank you.
The other application is obviously for your clients.
No, I'm interested in the first one.
Yeah, the first one is for you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you so much.